So welcome to a presentation of Fredom. Fredom is an online revolutionary investment platform that really stands out in the market. Many people want their money to grow rather than just sitting on a bank account. But when introduced to the financial market, there are so many different options to invest in and also many ways to lose your money. And it can sometimes be a bit difficult to navigate around. So Fredom has designed a platform that makes life easy and safe and profitable for any type of investor. And that is what I'm going to talk about today. This presentation is not aiming to be financial advice, but merely information about Fredom's platform. So basically, investment should be for everyone. But everyone also knows that the best investments is typically for the few, those with the biggest budgets and best contacts. So the vision for the Fredom platform is mainly to offer everyone a safe and easy way to invest, but with the same opportunity as professional investors and with no need for any investment experience. And it should not take more than 20 minutes to start up an investment. And also there should be, of course, an affiliate program for those that would like to do more than just their own investments. And Fredom has a business package where you can use this platform to build your own global business. If you would like to have information about the affiliate program, please look for a presentation of that. So Fredom as a company is a software developer. They are developing software to the financial markets, and they are located with their main office in the so-called Dubai International Financial Center. And of course, all registration and compliance info is public available. So why Dubai? Well, Dubai have been announced as the capital of the world for blockchain and crypto technology, and is kind of a window to the brand new digital financial world. And that makes Dubai as a city an attractive place to have an office if you are an investment company. And that is also the case for Fredom. So besides the headquarters in Dubai, Fredom also have a development office located in Pakistan. And this is where all the development and all the programming takes place. There are today more than 60 highly skilled people working there. Then Fredom also have an international sales office, which is located in Denmark. And this is in fact where it all began, because the whole team behind the investment platform and also the affiliate program are indeed all Danes coming from Denmark. Let's take a short look at the founders of the company. So the CEO and founder, Dennis Rode, is a Danish businessman that has founded multiple companies in Denmark, which he have grown into a successful business. And he has also been major shareholders of big projects. He has lately decided to buy himself out of other projects and companies in order to be able to spend all his time and energy on the Fredom platform. Then we have the company's COO, Head of Compliance, Christian Gottschalk, and he is responsible for the legal department. And of course, this has a very high priority as Fredom being a new company in the financial market. So of course, all territories and all countries that they operate in has to, of course, be 100% compliant. Then we have Thomas Gottschalk, the CFO, head of finance of the company. And Thomas, as you can see, and his last name, along with Christian, they could be related, and indeed they are related. They are in fact brothers, and they have worked together before for many years in a company, a Danish company, with similar responsibilities in the Danish construction industry. And now they are working together again on the Fredom platform. Then we have Aftab, and Aftab is the CTO, so head of technology in the company, and he is responsible for the development office in Pakistan and brings lots of experience in counseling companies on how to use artificial intelligence and algorithms. So that was a bit about the founders behind the company. Let's take a look at typical private investors that they're aiming for. So basically, of course, if you take aside the big players that are mostly investing in real estate and property, we could, if we generalize, divide the private investors in those two segments: traditional investor and professional traders. Where the traditional investors invest in their spare time, and they are often looking for simple, safe, and low-risk investments. And the common denominator for this segment is that they often lack investment education and experience. If you compare with the professional traders, well, the common denominator for this segment is the opposite. They often have years of education and experience behind them, and they do this for a living. This is investing is their full-time occupation, even though they are private investors. This segment spent a lot of time, many hours a day monitoring the financial market, looking for the best possible trade, using both economic calendar, news, technical analysis, and fundamental analysis on specific assets. And they typically have more than one monitor to watch all the time. And when they leave their office, well, basically they still have their smartphones and tablets and laptops, because the financial market never really sleeps. When one stock exchange in one area of the world is closing down, simultaneously another one is opening up somewhere else. So it's a market that never sleeps. If you would like to become a professional trader, so besides spending some years on educating yourself and also being aware that this is a full-time job that takes a lot of effort and time and resources, you also need to have a relatively large amount of start capital to get started. First of all, you need to be able to, on a regular basis, to place several in a row, losing trades, and still be able to come back and reverse the situation to get back into the money with green numbers. And that demands a relatively large additional buffer of extra budget in order to be able to do this on the long run. So private investors either lack education or experience, or have to spend a lot of years educating themselves and also spend lots of time and resources in their investments. What is it then that Fredom is offering? Well, Fredom's platform makes life easy and safe and profitable for any type of investor. And the only thing you need to do with Fredom's platform is basically to, first of all, register as a member. That is completely free. Then you open up an account with one of Fredom's chosen brokers, and that is either Pepperstone or IC Markets. There will be more later, which are highly regulated and trusted brokers. And then you fund your account with them. Then you go back to the Fredom's platform, pick a investment product, and push the start button. And that is it. That is it. From here on, you can just relax and watch your investment grow. So Fredom really do stand out in multiple ways in the market. And one of these ways is that Fredom does not hold their investors' money. They have a model where they have put a broker in between them and the investors. So they cannot get greedy and run away with the money, or as we see in many places, not pay out on time or not pay out at all, or even go bankrupt and then the only money is gone, because the money is always placed on the broker's account, on the customers, the investors' own private account with the brokers. So they cannot withdraw any funding from these accounts or fund these accounts with money. The only thing they can do is send signals over there on what to invest in. And also, IC Markets and also Pepperstone do not cheat their customers or, let's say, manipulate price. Unfortunately, this is very normal in the market. Many trading platforms and many brokers are manipulating price or adding additional delays in the trade in order to be able to themselves to add additional trades where they can speculate and even trade against their own clients. This happens unfortunately very often, and when these things happen, it completely removes all trust between the investor and their trading platform or broker. That can't happen with Fredom setup. Fredom and Fredom's selected brokers does not speculate against their own clients. If IC Markets or Pepperstone or some of the others that will come soon would try to even manipulate price, they couldn't, because Fredom, when they send their signals, they actually get the price not from the brokers, but directly from the stock exchanges, and that's what they include in their signals they're sending to these brokers. So this just creates a higher level of safety for Fredom's investors. And for Fredom, being a new company in the all global market, it is all about trust and transparency. This is very important for them. And the weekly updates they have is very open, very informative about anything that goes on behind the scene, good and bad. And I think that creates a lot of trust among their investors. Also, the level of transparency that they're offering their investors are really significant. You can see anything that goes on, all trades, all assets being traded, what time the trade goes on, what the entry price in, exit price, etc. You can go to the broker's site and see the same trade ongoing and go back and forth, and you can see they are exactly the same, they are identical. Because Fredom and Fredom's brokers do not manipulate price or add in delays in order to be able to cheat their customers. In fact, while many are earning money while their clients are winning or losing, Fredom only earns money when their investors are earning money. That again creates a higher level of trust among their investors. So how does Fredom's platform actually work? Well, basically, they are using a so-called financial instrument called a derivative called a CFD, and that is short for contract for difference. So rather than buying a stock where you actually own the asset, and then when the market is downtrending, you get stomach pain. And when the market is uptrending, you get all excited. You might even sell your asset to get a profit. With CFDs, it's different. It's different because you don't actually own the assets. You buy a contract that speculates in the asset's price going up or down. And this means that you can earn money when the market is uptrending, but also when the market is downtrending. And that makes, of course, CFDs highly attractive. So many private investors are also using CFDs. Unfortunately, between 70 and 89% of those are losing their money. So how is that? Well, the human factor is most of the reason for this because humans have emotions, and emotions like greed or fear make people go outside their plan, and that's when they start losing money. You should always stick with the plan. And when you work with CFDs, you need to have a proper plan with a very highly defined risk setting. Also, a bar set for how much will you win before pulling out on time, or how much would you, let's say, accept to lose before stopping the trade. These things have to be completely defined, and you need to have a strategy and work with that strategy, and don't go outside that strategy. But people do that all the time because of fear or greed. So that's why a lot of people are losing money. But there's also a lot of people who are earning a lot of money with CFD. So what are they doing? Well, this is typically the investment, it's called the investment banks, and they get help. They use computers with so-called software programs, algorithms that are doing all the trades for them. And they don't have any human feelings, and they can place many trades at the same time and much, much faster than any human and much more sharper. So this is great tools to work with if they're properly programmed and used properly in the right setup. And like any platform, of course, for Fredom, it's about finding the best trades possible. And Fredom is using exactly the same thing. They're using groundbreaking algorithms, not bought in the market, ready to use, depending on third-party programming or support. No, they're all designed from scratch in Fredom's development department in Pakistan. And they are really, really groundbreaking with great results over the last few years. But where they really stand out here is that all Fredom's algorithms are powered by artificial intelligence, AI. This makes this setup completely different, and it takes it to a completely different level of investment power. Fredom's AI is designed to work specifically with this platform, to work specifically with those algorithms, and it's a very powerful tool. Let's take an example. Here we have an algorithm from Fredom working. In the beginning first, it's trying to find its way, but then suddenly it starts winning trades, and it wins trades and wins trades. After a while, something happens. Now it suddenly starts losing trades, and this happens all the time. But in this scenario, it continues to lose trades, continues and continues. When this happens, Fredom's AI will jump into the picture right away and try to figure out what is wrong here. And what's really, really powerful with Fredom's AI is that it can collect thousands of pages of information, market analysis about what goes on in the market, anything that could be related to this price development. It can also take a screenshot on the chart above, the so-called, if you see this candlelight chart with the AI-powered algorithms, all the red candlelights are when the price is going up, and all the green ones and when the price is going up, and all the red candlelights in when the price is going down. And then you see all these different lines going in. This is software programs which are activated, so-called indicators, that's trying to figure out what will the price do next. So Freedom's AI can take a screenshot of that, and it can scan the whole market for thousands of previously made trades that are all finalized, and then pick maybe the 20 best winning trades and find out were they a buy or a sell, what are any additional information regarding this, and that information it can implement and include in the reprogramming of the algorithm, and suddenly it starts performing differently, and we have winning trades again. This is really, really powerful. And I think the key here is to take away is, as an investor, you do not need to understand any of this at all. But hopefully, this should give a picture on that with the Freedom AI setup, it provides a way more powerful investment setup. Also, it creates a lot more safety for their investors, because when any algorithm is not doing well, AI will make sure that it's back on track. So anyway, with a very powerful setup of investment, you also, of course, need to make sure that the engine underneath the hood, if you have a fancy sport car, is all about the engine underneath the hood. And Freedom is using some really fancy technology. It's one of the best technology in the world. It has to be very solid, consistent, and very powerful and fast. And Freedom is using Microsoft Azure data center. It's a giant leading global data center that operates overall in the world and can move huge, huge bulks of data in a very short time and very secure. Freedom is operating directly with the two data centers located in New York and London. And those two data centers are directly connected to the London and New York Stock Exchange with optic fiber, which gives Freedom's investors an option to trade with lightning speed. This is really key. Anyone that's been trying to trade for themselves and had experience with the bad internet connection know exactly how that feels. You have a really great trade, and suddenly there's a delay because of bad connection, because of that. And suddenly, when the trade is finally going through, the price is suddenly halved, and you lose a lot of money. That's a disaster. So that can never happen here. The Microsoft Azure data center is very, very powerful, very secure, and just provides the fastest trade possible for all Freedom's investors, not just for the big players, for all the investors. So if you take this all together, the algorithms and the AI and the CFDs and the very powerful engine behind it all, you have a really, really powerful, strong package, which now is available not just to the big players, but to all Freedom's investors at all levels. But even though this is very powerful, it also needs to be properly protected. And Freedom's products are protected 24/7. First of all the algorithms are programmed in-house and not depending on third-party programming or support. And of course, there is advanced stop-loss bar and take-profit bars included in all the trades, as there should be. And on the Freedom's case here, well, the stop-loss bar is the bar set for how much can you afford to lose before you will stop the trade automatically. That's very short. And the take profit bar in the other end, how much can you afford to win before you pull out? That's much higher. That means that if you lose half the time and win half the time, well, money-wise, you win much, much more money than you lose. And that, of course, is highly attractive when being an investor. Then all the investments are protected by Freedom's AI, and especially when the market goes rough. We saw what happened when the Ukraine war started, when it hit the media suddenly. It created lots of chaos. Many platforms had red numbers. Freedom's platform wasn't really marked at all. It wasn't hit because before it hit the media, Freedom's AI had already caught that information and had already reprogrammed all the algorithms. So that did not really take a hit. They were all ready for these changes in the market. And that's the power of this. Also, Freedom does not hold investors' money. So they cannot run away with them if they go bankrupt. It doesn't have any impact on the investor's portfolio. And they only earn money when the investors earn money, which is really key. And again, of course, they have intelligent RMP, risk management platform, but Fredom's setting is quite different. I'm just going to go through that shortly so you can see why Fredom really stands out in this, let's say, setting as well. So when it comes to risk management, Fredom have a so-called CTE, a central trading engine. It is a cloud-based solution. This is where all the trading information comes in. Let's say there's a rumor of a new big pharma or a big pharma that's about to maybe launch a new product. And that, of course, will have a huge impact on the price development, etc. That information could be good for a new trade. That information is happening in the central trading engine, and now that's going to be pushed out fast in the so-called decentral trading engines, which is located with all the investors' accounts. So this is basically all the central information goes out to all the accounts, and it goes out very fast. So they are ready to place this trade. But before going there, it goes through a very comprehensive security process, a so-called CTF. Normally, or many times, it's one pill fits all, or you have one, let's say, risk management setup, and then many just jump in and try to use the same setting. That's not the case here. So basically, with the CTF, it's highly, highly individual. For each step of each trade or in each direction, it goes through this process. At first, start with market analysis, anything in the market right now that could have an impact on price. A news event, anything on Bloomberg or other media around the world, that could have an impact on the financial markets, and that's being put together as the first risk evaluation. Then it moves on to the next step, which is the money management. What kind of investment product does this individual investor have on his or her account? And then it moves on to the next step, which is the position sizing. How much does this individual investor have funded her or his account? There's a big difference if it's $5 million or $1,000. So these 5 steps are all put together, and this can be a lot of information, many, many, many pages of information. And it's all done in seconds or even milliseconds due to Fredom's powerful AI. Then there's, with all this information, made a final risk reward ratio, which is used for all single steps in each direction of any potential trade ongoing. And then it ends out with the decentralized trading engines with the investor's account and can be traded. This is very, very powerful. And it really stands out and it's very comprehensive, but it can take seconds or milliseconds. And this it just creates, let's say, as an investor, you don't need to understand these things at all. But the key takeaway is just that with this setup, it creates a much more powerful investment, and it also creates much more safety for the investors. Let's step away a bit from all this technical stuff you don't need to understand and move into something that you really do need to understand as an investor, Fredom's products. Fredom's products are operating in 5 different markets: Forex, crypto, stocks, indices, and commodities. Should you, for religious, legal, or political reasons, not be allowed to invest in any of those markets, that doesn't matter at all, because you can simply just go into the selected investment product you have chosen and unselect one of those markets, and then you are home free. So Fredom's platform and products are available globally all over the world, with the exception of those 7 countries: North Korea, Iran, Myanmar, USA, Israel, New Zealand, and Australia. Some of those countries might be enrolled at a later stage, but at this point in time, there's no access for investors in these countries for the platform and products. So Fredom's products are divided in 2 types: the standard products and the upgrade products. Let's first take a look at the standard product. When you open an account, when you start to register with the Fredom platform, you automatically have a standard account, which is completely free. That gives you access to these 3 standard products: the basic, the advanced, and the pro package. As you can see on the ROI, which is the expected annual return, that is different from the different products. For the basic, it is 8% on a 12-month period, and for the advanced, it's 13%, and for the pro, it is 18%. All Fredom's products are running 12 months. And you can also see the minimum investment needed for these products is very, very low. $200 for the basic and $300 for the advanced and $500 for the pro. That's the amount of money you need to fund your broker account in order to get access to these products. Then there's a risk profile. You can see, of course, the higher return you're gonna get, the higher risk will follow automatically. And as we saw before, all different things with the money management, the risk management, etc., that is not just for the best or biggest projects. This is valid for all Fredom's products. And you can see in the bottom, they are running on VPS class 3. This is the servers that these products are running on, and this is a good and solid safe server. Let's take a look at the upgrade product. So if you want to get access to high returns, you could upgrade your account to a silver account. That demands a one-time only fee at $300. Then you will be silver. And with a silver account, the basic, the advanced, and the pro packages are suddenly available in a plus version. And when you look at the ROI, the expected annual return, that has suddenly increased. So the basic had 8% return and the basic plus has 14%. You can also see that the minimum investment is also a bit higher. And also the risk profile is also a bit higher. That follows, of course, always the return. If you want to get more than that, basically, there's also some highly aggressive products like the Supreme and Elite product. They demand a different account. So you can upgrade your silver account to a gold account. The gold account is a one-time only fee at $600. But if you already have a silver account, you of course only have to pay the difference, which in this case will be $300. That of course is also the case with the platinum account. As you can see at those products, this is 40% return and even 50 plus with the elite product. This is very, very powerful products. And if you see the minimum investment is only $2,000 or $3,000. So this is a very, very low entry point to get access to such powerful products. And again, if you see in the bottom, the Pro Plus has suddenly VPS class 2, while the Supreme and Elite has VPS class 1, which is absolutely the most powerful and fastest and most secure servers available for these type of products. And that has a high cost compared to the others. And therefore, there's some extra, among other things, expenses on these accounts. And it's also one of the reasons that there are some one-time only fees. So the Supreme product and the Elite product differs in a way that you have access to define some of the parameters yourself. You can actually adjust some of the risk profile files on these two. Let's take a short look at that. First of all, the Supreme product. If you see in the bottom here, you can see that there's a risk bar. If you think it's a bit too aggressive, you can see everything in this platform, so you might get a bit scared if it's too much up and down. So you can actually just scroll down on the risk profile if you want to and push save, and that will be activated right away. So this is kind of, it gives you a bit more, let's say, flexibility with this product. Then you see above this, there's a so-called start trade button and a stop all trades button. That is, of course, valid for all the products. And that has to be there by law. You have to be able to start the trade by yourself and also stop all trades. It is not advisable to stop all trades, because if you do that, it will stop immediately all trades, also in the middle of a trade ongoing. And that might be, let's say, it might actually end up with you losing money, or at least not get as much out of it as you could. So it's not advisable at all. It's much better to use the additional button called pause trade, where it actually stops the trading after you have finalized the specific ongoing trade right now. Anyway, this is 12 months running trades or products we're talking about. So stopping in the middle of everything is not advisable. Anyway, but if you want to, it's possible. You can get the money right away. Let's take a short look at the last product, the Elite product. Here you can see it has 50 plus in return, which means you can get much higher than 50%. And the reason for that is that you can actually divide it in three different risk categories: a high risk, a medium risk, and a low risk. As you can see, this specific investor has chosen to put 10% of the invested amount of money in the high risk, and 40% in medium risk, and 50% in the low risk. You can even go in individual risk and even scroll up and down a bit more on the risk profile. That gives you much more, let's say, access to your investment. Again, if you choose the high risk, there will be a pop-up right away, warning, and saying this is a very aggressive product. You can get very high returns, but you can also lose your money. And there's a maximum you can invest. You can, of the invested amount of money on this product, you can maximum invest 30% on the high risk. And this is for your own security. Good. So this product seems a bit complicated, and the whole idea with the Fredom platform was actually to make things easy. So they have decided to make a new version of this product. That's going to come up very soon. So for now, this is how it looks, but there will be a new version. And of course, there will also be many other products in the future. That was a bit about the products. So if you have invested already with Fredom, so mainly you can actually get access to your investment anywhere. The software is so-called SaaS, which is software as a service. This means that as long as you have access to a browser, you can see your investment anywhere and follow it on your smartphone, on a computer, tablets, etc. If you want to download stuff, there's also an app which is available for smartphones and tablets as well. And that looks almost the same as the SaaS version of the software. So if you try to wrap up, Freedom's platform really do stand out in many different ways in the market, and it's all about trust and transparency. Everything they do is completely transparent, and also licenses, documentation, etc. All those things are completely in order and public available, of course. And the investments are highly protected. And of course, as a member of the platform, you get access to different types of education, both in how to invest and also about, of course, how to use the platform. And there's, of course, as we just saw, full online control on all platform, tablets, smartphones, computers, etc. There's also online support 24/7, and there's a 14-day full return money back guarantee. This is a Danish thing that they have implemented now, and that works globally with all the customers that are using Freedom's platform. So if you don't like what you see within the first 14 days, you can always just stop and get your money back. Then, of course, as we saw, as part of Freedom's high significant level of transparency, there are live updates every week from management on what goes on behind the scenes, anything relevant to know about the investments, what went good, what went bad. And it just gives you a good overall picture on what happens with your investments. So that was more or less all for me. If you like what you saw, if you think this platform is just as exciting as I think it is, and you would like to try it out, please contact the person that have invited you to see this presentation and ask them to help you get registered right away. It's completely free to get registered. Should you have interest in hearing more about the affiliate program, then please also ask for a presentation of that. That was all for me. Thank you very much for listening into this presentation.